First step in creating the mouse is to create a T-spline box. To do that, we look for the Create Form tool in Fusion 360 in a new design. In the Sculpt environment, under the Create menu, there is the Box command. We select the Box command. Next, we select the plane we want to place the box on, so we're going to select the ground plane. Click one time to indicate the center of the box, move the mouse away, and click a second time to set the outside boundary of that box. Upon clicking the second time, there are some arrows here to adjust the height, width, and length. Now think of this as your mouse body, so how large would you like this to be, how tall? You can make those adjustments or type those in for dimensions in millimeters. We can also adjust the amount of resolution of this box by dragging these double arrows left and right. Now we don't want to get too many. There's no need for that. We want to keep this simple. Maybe a 2 by 2 by 3 box is enough here. 3 by 2 by 2. Once we're happy with that, we say OK. The next step is to add symmetry. If we want the mouse to be the same on the left side as it is on the right side, we can add symmetry. Under the Symmetry menu, we find Mirror Internal. We click on the left side one time. It gives us a number 1. Once one face is now selected, now I click a second time on the right side, got a number 2, and this means that the left side is now the same as the right side. We will notice a green line showing that line of symmetry. Say OK. Now to make modifications, we right-click anywhere and find the Edit Form tool. It's also under Modify, Edit Form. This tool lets us select planes, lines, or points, and whichever we select, we get this triad. That lets us move by using these arrows. We can move in a planar fashion. We can also scale with these lines, and we can rotate. So I can grab any plane and do this. I can start to move, scale, and rotate to create the mouse shape I would like. So go ahead and go through and do that. The one thing to watch out for, and this is can trip us up a little bit, we can double click these lines to get them to select all at once, and as I bring the lines closer together, it starts to create a sharper angle. You can see this tight radius here. If I pull them apart, it starts to loosen that up. So from tight radius to loose radius. But there's a problem here. If I drag this too far, I can start to create some real problems for myself. If these lines start to intersect and tangle with each other. So if I pull this through, you can see here, it's a big problem. I've just pulled this body through itself. If I try to say Finish Form, it might work or it might give me an error. That one actually worked. I'm going to try to mess it up a little bit more here. If I click on this and say Edit Form, and I'll drag this up into the body. It's definitely overlapping there. I'm going to say OK, say Finish Form. And you can see it's going to show me that I've got this overlapping shape that's not going to work. If I do that, I need to go to Return, close this warning, and I need to undo using the undo arrow up at the top until I get back to the more simplified form, and then make sure at this point that I'm making edits that aren't going to give me these lines crossing each other. I'll make a couple other edits to this guy. Now again, I want to think about what the mouse will look like. This is the design. Holding Shift to grab a couple lines together. You can make as many edits as you like until you're happy with the mouse you've created. Alright, I'm going to call it with this guy. That's the overall mouse shape I'm going to work with here. And once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and say Finish Form. And if it finishes up successfully, I'm good to go with a mouse body.